Good morning, Rabbi Sai. Okay, I don't have to do it anymore. Well, you all got together? It was, wow, just like in Dallas. Liylu Nishmas Yisroel Mordechai. 3 sponsors today. Mazal Tov to Yisroel Menachem Sokolow from South Bend. I'm graduating South Bend Hebrew Day School. He came all the way to Chicago to wish me Mazal Tov on my son's engagement. We are so proud and know you'll continue to make us proud in Yeshiva next year. Wow. You better be doing the daf there. You're an amazing son and we love you, mommy and daddy. Next one. Guess who this is? One guess. Kapara Alecha. In honor of the maggid, Mr. Stefansky. There's only one person it could be. Harry Shalom. Very good. Yanki, I'm guessing. Yanki Sonnenschein. Eli Nishmas, Rabbi Yosef Ben Naftoli, Hakohen, Elend. Whoa. We got a lot of emails to cover here. Obviously. Here, let me show you. I don't want to embarrass him. We were, Chabrusa was looking for Masifta yesterday, not for the Pshat and the Gemara, but in the back there's a lot of great stuff. That's why I have Masifta. So we go to the shelf here. There's a brand new Masifta donated by Avi Kamiansky. Yoma Chela Gimel is gone. We look everywhere. There's nothing. So I said, you know what? Let me go to the cameras. So I go to the cameras. During Shachris, I see the volume is there. During Shiur, it's not there. So I go, I see Mati's kid come, grab the Gemara, and I followed him. He went up there, so the Gemara was up there. This is the TV guys. Okay, from Benjamin Schwartz, dear Belly. You never know. They're always watching you. I would like to give a public thank you to Yossi Klein and his family for opening their home for this wonderful event this past week in New York. Thank you as well to Nasanel Gantz, Mark Ashkenazi, and all the others that are organized and helped with this tremendous meetup. Many people learn the daf, but I'm willing to bet no other daf group has such a worldwide connection and achdus that spans all different ages, backgrounds, and countries. It was mentioned before, but it bears repeating. All different types of people from all different backgrounds joined together in this celebration of Torah. Some people were brought up first speaking Yiddish before English. Others wear bigger or smaller size kippas, and others have longer or shorter pace. But at the end of the day, we all have a yearning to be closer to HaKadosh Baruch Hu and to grow in our Yiddishkeit. Rebellion and MDY have made this such an easily attainable goal. But it's so much more than just the daf. We truly are a family. I know that I personally would never have left my bubble without MDY. When in the world would I ever have made a connection with a Hasidic person from Muncie? MDY has shown us that no matter how different we may appear, we truly all are the same on the inside. It's connected to today's daf. I'm grateful that I can call people from all walks of life and all parts of the world my friends. Whether it's someone from Queens, Muncie, Lakewood, Florida, South Africa, Leon, where are you? California, Harry Shalom, or Israel, Nachman Seltzer. Whether they wear Streimel or Kibbutz Struga, I know that we are one large extended family with the same mindset and life goals. Thank you, Rebelli, for all that you do and all that you inspire. This wouldn't have happened if not for you. The high that was felt. You hear this, Rabbi Sai? If you're in Cleveland or in Detroit, in Chicago, the high that was felt at the get-together was truly palpable and uplifting. One day we'll have a get-together in Brazil. We'll have it in all these exotic, this achdus and togetherness that we have for one another should continue to grow. Amen. And it's this chos, may we zoicha to help bring Mashiach speedily. Benjamin Schwartz, Rabbi Esterson from Florida. Dear Rebelli, I just came back from an amazing South Florida MDY get-together. As I walked into the restaurant, I was greeted with smiles and warm welcomes befitting our climate. Warm climate. Within moments, I felt completely at home. My father-in-law and brother-in-law were there, but it felt that everyone in the room was family. We knew each other from emails read aloud, WhatsApp messages, and most importantly, we were bonded through Torah, all of us being a part of the most amazing Daf Yomi around. But us guys in RBS don't really appreciate it that much. Shalom Aleichem. You can come over here, sit over here. Guest. Don't look at him. Don't embarrass him. He comes during the morning and learns there. So I told him, come in the fine. I know that you say that the best show of gratitude is to get someone else to join this year. I'm so grateful to my father and father-in-law for joining your shiur, and for all the South Florida MDY Chevra and their families for making this get-together happen. Rabbi Yisai, all you have to do, you could save Yossi Klein $50,000. Each person bring one person. What's the big deal? One person. If every person brought one, finish. Then the story. They don't have to buy Yossi Klein. But you know what? You know how many people out there do not bring even one person? If you enjoy this shiur, bring one more person. Why not? Tell them about it. What better way to spend Father's Day than by recognizing that the Torah we learn is what makes us the fathers we are? What better way to spend Father's Day than by recognizing that the Torah we learn is what makes us the fathers we are? Thank you for promoting these events and for continuing to innovate with your shiur. Sincerely, Rabbi Ari Esserson, East Boca Maggid shiur. One more. Yaakov Garfinkel, there's a few more from Florida. We'll read them tomorrow, Be'ez Hashem. Dear the Geshmaker Raveli, good morning to you and the whole MDY team and family. My name is Yaakov Garfinkel from Modi'in. Been doing the daf since Brachas, and I've been with you and MDY since the start of Pesachim. Baruch Hashem, since joining MDY, I haven't missed a day. I think the only way to continue without missing a day is to change your mindset about the daf and think about it like putting on tefillin. Or Shabbos, the same way we make sure to keep every single Shabbos and put on tefillin every morning. We have to look at the daf the same way. Otherwise, we'll definitely miss a day and fall behind. I think I might be the biggest Amaritz in the family since I often learn the daf in shorts and a t-shirt. Shem Yirachim. And I only use a Steinsaltz Gemara. Thank you so much for inspiring me to learn every day and all your hard work. Your Talmud Muvak, Yaakov Garfinkel.
You want a picture?
He wants a picture. Listen, here, there's nothing wrong with learning in shorts. I admire it. But he is a tremendous Amaretz. Let me tell you why. For a different reason. I hope he's not easily insulted. No. Learning the daf is not like tefillin. I'm sorry. Tefillin, if you miss a day, you can never make it back. Learning the daf, you will miss a day. It's not a big deal to miss. What is he talking about? Oh, it has to be like Shabbos. No. It's very good not to miss, and we should try not to miss. But it's going to happen. It's inevitable. It's not tefillin. And Mamela, you need to know that if you do miss a day, don't be like that Pliny Almoin, I'm not going to mention his name, that fought with me. No, I'm going to catch up. And we're going on for 4 months already. He's trying to catch up, but he's still not with the shiur. What do? It's all about the Yomi. You jump ahead and you learn. So Shtikal HaMaretz over here, I can see. He doesn't have it down packed. But it's very good. No, his idea is very good. Never to miss. Treat it like tefillin, but not mamish. It's not tefillin. Tefillin, if you miss, there's no making up a daf. It's not a problem. You make it up a different time. Givaldik. Daf Ayin Beis. We're holding, unfortunately, 16 lines from the bottom of Ayin Aleph Amud Beis. From the bottom. Mashzar. These twined ropes. We're talking about these beautiful twined ropes. Soon, Gary, are you able to zoom in a second? Mashzar Shmoina Milnala. When the Torah says Mashzar, it means that each thread is made from 8 smaller threads. The Chsiv, Vayasu al Sruli HaMe'il, Rimoine Techeles, Va'argomon, V'Toilas Shani. Sruli HaMe'il. These guys are Rimoinim, right? So, a Rimoin is a pomegranate. This is not a pomegranate. Maybe it has the shape of a pomegranate. But it's made out of, you see the red, the blue, 3 threads, 3 different colors. Tchel is blue, Vargamon, purplish. V'tilashani mashzar. It says mashzar. So it's 3 times 8, 24. V'yalav mashzar miparoiches. Oh, I forgot to show Joe. Well, we'll show him tomorrow. That's Schreiber, Joe Schreiber. Okay. So it says like this. This is the pasuk of Asisa al Shulav Rimoine Techeles Vargom V'Tilas Shani al Shulav Saviv Upamoine Zav B'Toicham Saviv. So you have the golden bells together with the Rimoinim, which are made out of Techeles Vargom V'Tilas Shani. Okay. And we learn the word mashzar. So over here, on this chart over here, you have 2 psukim. You have the paroiches and you have the ephod. Paroicha says, and Mazal over here means 24. Afkanes and Varba. So we have to think for 1 second. This is 24 divided by 4. Each one, there's 4 strings here. It's 6. 6 times 4 is 24. But by the Riemann, it's slightly different. We know that there's 3 strings, and we know that the outcome is 24. So how do you get to 24 if there's 3 strings? Each one is made out of 8. You hear what's going on here? This has 4 strings. The paroiches, the curtain, has 4 strings. Tcheles, vargom, telashan, v'sheish. It also has pishtan, flax. And the total is 24. So by us, that says mashzar, 24, and we only have 3 strings, so you have to divide 3 by 24, which means it's 8. That's how we know that each one, mashzar, means 8 by us. And therefore, tamni, each one is 8. As the Gemara, here's one of the 2 psukim, ephod, zav, tcheles, vargom, and how much is the ephod and the chayshen? Here, ephod. This is the chayshen. In here is a pocket. Put the Shem Hashem in here, and that's how you communicate. These light up. I think he did very much. I don't know what the actual size is, but maybe he found ephod. Okay, again. You have this backwards. Over here you have 2 gems with the shvatim. He wears like this. Okay. If you look closely, it's beautiful how he did it. It's red, blue, but there's also gold. I don't know if the camera could pick it up. There's a lot of gold in this. And that's what we're talking about, the second. It also says mashzar over there. You see in the pasuk? Hi, ephod, mashzar. And it says mashzar by us. So now you have 28 divided by 3 is a little bit of a problem because 27 is divisible by 3, 29, but not 28. Okay. I don't want to learn from this that has gold in it. And the me'il, the remainim, don't have zav. Adrabah, donim beged min beged, but it makes a lot more sense. What? Oh. The choshen we just showed has zav. Adrabah, donim beged min beged. So why are you going to the pareches, which is a tent, which is a wall, it's a building? Yes, it's made out of fabric, but it's something to block, to make a wall. Learn from a beged, learn a beged from a beged. This makes sense to learn from this. They're both begadim. Whoa. Nice. Okay. It's one thing to drop the tzitz, but to drop the chayshen, I don't know. Okay, so beged from beged. So the Gemara. You're right. You're right. I'm going away from it. I'm going to learn from something else. The belt. The belt is also 4 strings times 6 is 24. We have a total of 24. And Memela by us is 3 strings divided by 24. It's 8 each. And the avnate, the belt, does not have any gold in it. So Memela, I'm learning. It's better to learn from there. It's clothing and it doesn't have gold. It matches our me'il beautifully. The reminder. Okay, so the bottom line is that's how I know 8, because we have 3 strings in the Rimonim, and we're learning it from the belt that has 24 strings, because it's 4 times 6, 24. We have 3 strings, so each string is going to be made out of 8 very thin strings, threads. Rav Mori Omar, it says by the Chayshen. Let's see if I have it. Oh. Vasisa Chayshen. Here's the possible Chayshen. Maisa Chayshev. Kemaisa Ephod. You should do it exactly. The Chayshen should be like the Ephod. And if the Ephod is 28, Chayshen is also 28. Ta'asenu. This should have been red. Says the Gemara. Rav Mori Omar. Ta'asenu ksiv. Ta'asenu lezev le'la'acher. The only 2 How come I don't learn from a Chayshen that it's 28 and not 24? Because it says Ta'asenu. It's a miut. Only a Chayshen Eifa get 28, nothing else in the Torah. Rav Ashi Omar, V'asiso ksiv, shiukol asiyo shavais. This makes a lot of sense to me. I connect to this pshat. V'asisa. Every thread should be equal to the other. So if you have three, look at this. By the way, we should use this because we're giving this back tomorrow. That's it. We're done. Tomorrow we're starting a new parak that has everything to do with Bizman Hazeh. Yom Kippur, Bizman Hazeh. Anyway, so what do we have here? If you look over here, these are the 28 ones. 28 strings. I don't know if you can see. Zoom. It's 1, 2, 3, 4 strings, and each one is made out of 7. The 6 that we spoke about, plus 1 zav. So you have, let's say, tchelas and 1 zav. 6 tchelas, 1 zav. 6 argamon, 1 zav. 6. So that's how you get to 27. Okay, for a second. Yeah, just until we're done. We're almost done. So Mela says Rav Ashi beautifully. You cannot divide 28 into 3. You want to learn 28 strings from the Chaysh and the Ephod, but that's because they have 4 strings, so it's 28. But the Me'il, the Remind is 3 strings. How are you going to make 3 strings, divide 3 strings into 28? If each string is going to be 10, that's 30. The Tisha, she's going to make 2 strings out of 9 threads. The Tisha, and 1 is going to be 10. That's not fair. Each thread has to be equal. You can't divide 28 by 3, so we're going to divide 24 by 3. It makes a lot more sense to divide it by 3 equal 3s, and we're going to learn from somewhere else, not from the Choshen and the Ephod. Let's see what we have over here, just so we don't miss a good picture. This is from the Kapara Alecha book, all tchelas. This is the meal we're going to get to, is 12. 2 strings times 6 we're going to get to in a second. Paraycha is 24. Chashav Eifet, here, a bunch of 4 strings of gold. Says the Gemara all the way in the bottom, last line. Me'il shnei masar b'nolan. How do you know that the me'il, this guy's kulay tchelas, you see? It's blue, all blue. It's made out of threads that are 12. D'chsiv v'asisas me'il ha'ephod kilil tchelas, top of Ayin Beis Amud Aleph. Kilil means braided. V'yalev, kilil is 2 braided. V'yalev tchelas min paroiches. Malalon shisha, afkan shisha. So we have 2 times 6, because kilil is 2, braid is 2, right? How do you braid something? You take 2 threads and you put them together. So maybe like this, right over here. Here's 2 threads, 2 blue threads, and each thread is comprised of 6 smaller threads. Klil, to braid, the minimum of braiding is 2. And Malan Shisha, Afkan Shisha. So it's total of 12. V'neilef Mishulav V'rimaynav. V'hem V'rimaynim. It also says by the Remain that we just finished the whole sugya. How many threads are in the Remain? 24. And over there it also says Tchelas. Malan Shmayna, Afkan Shmayna. Each one is 3 strings made out of 8. Done in Kli Mikli. You learn clothing from clothing. Being done in Kli Mitachshit Kli. What's this? This on the bottom. It's an ornament. It's a tachshit. So I rather learn the me'il. This blue, you hear what's going on there? That's how you're going to chap the kasha. This blue, I rather not learn from this because there's an ornament. I rather learn it from something else that's a beged. Says the Gemara, Adarabba, don megufa. It's the same beged. I much rather learn this blue from this remind than to go to another beged. You're right. Okay. Let's take it back. Let's start over. Yesterday we learned there was 5 psukim that said sheish, and we said one of them is to learn that it's a flag. So one of them is that it's 6, and one of them is for another beged. We didn't say what it was. Here it is. This is the other beged. Okay, so here's another one that has 2 strings. Klil. How much is klil? 2 times 6. How do I know? from those 5 psukim, the 5 times it says the word sheish in the pasuk, and it didn't have to say it. Paroiches Ezra Harba. The partition, the paroiches was 24 threads. Arba, the shita. As we showed over here, maybe we showed it too early. Once again, here's the paroiches. No, here's the paroiches. Right over here. 6 times 4. Arba, the shita. Loy dina v'loy dayana. There's no arguing. There's no judge. You don't have to go to the court to figure this out. It's pashut. It says in the pasuk 4 times 6, and it's 24. Right over here, the chayshin and the ephod is 28. Where do we get 28 from? The chsiv v'asisa chayshin mishpat ma'aseh chayshin. K'ma'aseh ephod tasenu. Show the pasuk before. The chayshin should be like the ephod. Zahav tcheles v'argamon v'tilas shani v'sheish moshla. Arba the shita. So then we have the same as over here on this side. 4 times 6, that's great. So how do we get to 28? We have 24. V'arba zav eser arba. Zav arba, and then there's 4 strings made out of gold. Ha eser itmanya. So total of 28. Ask the Gemara, who told you to put 1 string of gold in there? Where do you get 1? Everything else is 6. Also, when it comes to gold, it's 1. You should cut the psilim. Psil is 1, psilim is 2. So you cut the 2. A psil, singular, is 1. Psilim, plural, is 2. You take the 2 and you cut it in half. How many do you have? 4. Harigan arba. So Meila, you add those 4 to the 24 and you're left with 28 threads. You're taking the gold and you're intertwining it within the tcheles, within the blue. Ubesoich in the purple. So how do you do? So you take the 6 and you add the gold into it. Hechi navid. Navid arba, the tray, hablut manya. If you're going to do 2 times 4, that's 8. Navid tray, the tray. If you're going to just take 2 strings and make each one 2, that's off again, like we said this far before. And tray, utrei, the chad, and 2 strings, we have 4 strings. What are you going to do with them? If you're going to take 2 and make them 2, so that's 4. And now you want to get to 6. How are you going to get to 6? Again, we're over here. Each one is 6. Now, how do you divide? The zav has to go within these 4 categories. It's not a category by itself. If it stood by itself, great. You have a great kasha. Maybe the zav should be 6. But you have to take the 6 and put them into these 4 guys. How do you divide 6 by 4? So, you can't do it. So, tray, the chad. If you're going to make 2 plus 2 is 4, and then 1 and 1. These 2, let's say these 2 guys are going to have 2 threads of gold, and now that's 4 out of 6, and now you're left with 2 strings. You do 1 and 1. That's not fair either. They have to be equal. And Memela, I learned that you put 1 thread of gold into each one of these 4 categories. So I have 24 strings, and I add 1 thread of gold to each one of these 4 categories, total of 28. And now I guess we could put this away somewhere. If I take this bagged and I rip it, I get 39 malchus. Very painful. It's a lav. Shenemar, loy yikoreya. Anytime the Torah says loy, it's a lav. And it says it by me'il, but I learn it to all other begodim. Maybe the Torah is not telling you, don't rip it. The Torah is telling you that you shouldn't rip it, that it shouldn't get ripped. You're supposed to do it in such a way that's nice and strong that it doesn't get ripped. Lo yikare in the future. Never safa, make a hem, ke'er de la nikra. Says the Gemara, no. Miksiv shlo yikare. It doesn't say she, so it shouldn't rip. It says lo yikare, do not rip it. If you, see if we can get it. See over here, they connect right over here to the top over here. There's a thing over here maybe, like this. So if you remove this from this, it's a lav. Kohen Gadol has to make sure it stays connected. Oh. This, Rabbi Isai, finally we get to use this. It's a beautiful piece. I didn't even realize how perfect this thing is. If you remove these poles from the Aron, Malchus, I'm going to get back to this in a second. Shenemar lo yizach, in one pasuk, v'lo yisuru. Okay, two lab. Make it strong. Make these connections between these two begadim and the chayshen strong, so that they shouldn't come apart. Not that you're over a lab. Again, the same teretz. It doesn't say she, that you should do it in such a fashion that it shouldn't come apart. It says make sure it doesn't come apart, and if you do, you get malchus. There's a stira. Ksiv, but tabayis are and you abadim lo yisur mimenu. Here are the tabayis. These rings right over here. These poles, the badim lo yisur mimenu, they cannot come out of here ever. Ksiv, but the other pasuk says vuvas badim b'tabayis. You should put them in, take them out. It seems like that they're removable. Hakeitzad. So we have to say pshat is like this, exactly like this design. These tabayis, these poles, they can move, but they can't come out ever. They're stuck in here, but they're movable. That's the pshat. Okay, it's ad misparkin, the loose, by nishmatim they can't come out. Tanya namachi, but tabayis are and you abadim. We just learn the same thing. Maybe they'll be stiff right over here. They can't move. It makes sense almost. You don't want it to move. As you're moving, you're schlepping the iron, and all of a sudden it's going to start moving on the poles. Yes. I don't think you drink from this yet. I don't know if the Melech HaOlam was so good this time. All right. Maybe they come out completely. I saw there was a whole raid. How did they put them in to begin with? It seems like they had to shove it in. How do you get a piece of wood into a circle and then you can't take it out? It was like slightly larger. They were able to somehow get it into, and then they didn't come out. Like a cork. But okay, it's a so that unfortunately we gave back that model of the Mishkan. But you all know the pictures. The Mishkan was made out of many pieces of wood standing. What does it mean, oimdim? They were standing. Of course, they're oimdim. They're laying down. They have to be in a certain amount. They have to take up a certain amount of space. Sho'oimdim derech dilasan. Very interesting halacha. You cannot flip a piece of wood upside down. So I don't have a thing here, but let's say the tree grew like this. So you cannot use the piece of wood like this. It has to be the way it grew, the top to the top, the bottom to the bottom. Halacha. Dover acher, oimdim, shema'amidim es tzipuyon. You know, the wood had a very thin covering of gold. So how do you get that gold to stick to the wood? It has to be good enough wood that you can take a nail and staple it in, nail it into the wood. It has to be able to hold onto the gold. The gold has to be able to hold onto the wood. Maybe you'll say its glory is over. Can't look up to it anymore. They'll never spoil. They'll never, wherever they are. These crushim from the Mishkan. They're there in the same exact way they were thousands of years ago. As big day hasrod l'sharis b'kodesh. What does it mean? Big day hasrod. Daf Yomi Amud Beis in Malay big day kuno lo yishtayir misoyneim she Yisroel Sokolow the pot. The Gemara does this to us twice today. It's a lashon saginar. The Gemara doesn't like to say bad Jews, so it calls bad Jews the enemies of the Jews, referring to the Jews. So if we didn't have big day kuno, In other words, if we didn't have korbanos, then we would be wiped out. The korbanos is what saves Klal Yisrael. The big kahuna that enables the Kohen Gadol, the Kohanim, to do the avodah is what saves Klal Yisrael. Reb Shmuel ben Nachmani Omar. Shkoyach. Liylu Nishmas. Uri Ben Mattisyahu. And for the success in Gashmius and especially ruchnius of his grandchildren. You know why? Very interesting. Because I didn't want to block the Rashi. Rashi on this blot, because it's a gadata, it's on both sides where the Taisus is. So usually I put the Uri Ben Mattisyahu on the Taisus. It's closer to the words. Now I had to push it off. I'm just explaining. Derech Hagav, I'm telling you that if you're looking for Rashi on this Amud, it's on the right side and the left side. Says the Gemara, Rabbi Shmuel bar Nachmani Omar, the Bei Reb Shimon Tana, Begadim shegordin oisam kivriyasan mikalayim. There's this beged here. Let's take this as an example. Not that he did this because it's impossible today to do it, and he obviously didn't do it. But this comes off the loom exactly like this. In other words, how do you make a beged today? A flat fabric comes off the loom, you cut it, and you sew it together. That's not how it was in the Beis HaMikdash. It was a Maisa Oireg, it was this very special chachma. They were able to weave it into a garment. Okay? The only issue is the sleeve. Well, the sleeve also, it came off in a circle. It came off the loom complete, all around. Kibriyasam Ikaleim. And we leave over a little bit that they didn't weave. Mahi, what did they leave over? They had to add a little bit. You don't sew anything to it. It comes off woven. The sleeve. Yeah. Everything was made beautifully in one shot. But the sleeve maybe was made in one piece like this, but they had to attach it right over here on the base yad. Okay? You have to attach the sleeve to the beged. It's woven by itself. And it comes all the way to the end of the hand. Okay. Here's the aron. Here's the kruvim. Take that off for a second. This goes over here. Now, here's the pasuk. V'asu. Down for a second. V'asu aron atzi shitim. Okay, you have to make an aron out of wood. But then it says that wood, v'tzipisa oisoi zav. It has to be covered. Tar mibayis u'mivachutz. From the inside and the outside. How do you take a box of wood and cover it from the inside and the outside in gold? V'sisa olav zer zav, and on top of that you make a zer. This is the zer. We're going to talk about that in a second. So the Gemara says, in fact, it's not that you took a box and you covered it with gold. What's going on here is that there are actually 3 aronos here. Let's see. Move this away. Okay. Put it over here. Better for the video. Inside here, you have the luchas. What's amazing is I never realized. Look at this. That's one. Zav. Yeah, maybe I'll just flip it over. This is the center one. This is the one the Torah says that you should make atzei shitim. It's a box. This, from here to here, is 8. No, 9. 9. This is the middle one. 9. This is the one that goes inside it. And look, it has a beautiful lip. Goes inside this, like that. And then this goes into the main one. Okay, so let's see what we have here. Omer Rav Yehuda Sholish Aronos Oso Betzalo. It was kedai to rent it. How long do we rent it for? Almost 70 days. Just to get to here, it's kedai. Okay, it's paying off the rental. Sholish Aronos Oso Betzalo. Emtsoi Shalates. The middle one, this guy's made out of wood. Tisha. 9 tfachim from top to bottom. Talking about the height. Penimi shel zav shmoina. The one that fits inside it is 8. From top to bottom is 8. Chitzoin asara umashu. This outer one is 10 and a little bit. What's the little bit? We learned that this is 11. Like Ashi. The bottom of yoy, in this case, means the bottom. If the bottom takes up a full tefach, so you only have 10 tefachim till the top of the bottom. In other words, with the bottom plate, this guy is a tefach thick. So in Mela, it's 11. According to that man. Another man says, no, the bottom is just a mashu. It's a very thin piece. And Mela, you only have 10. Now, umay mashu. What's that extra? What are you talking about, the extra? Zer. You look closely over here, there's a crown going around the top. And it's a mashu. It sticks up a little bit above the top. Omer Rabbi Yochanan, Shloisha Zeirim Hein, Shel Mizbeach. So if we look over here, this has a zer, a crown right over here, all the way around. This is the Mizbeach Hazav. And finally, we're going to say goodbye to the beautiful shulchan. Maybe we'll purchase it. Super expensive, $1,000. This also has a zer. If you look closely, right over in the center, where the shelves meet the legs, is a nice ornament zer all the way around. So these are the 3 things that have a zer. If you want to see what it looks like in the picture, there's a beautiful picture here. Here, first of all, sometimes pictures are even better than the real thing. 11 tefachim, and it shows you this blue line right over here. That's the bottom that equals a tefach, according to that man Omar. And the mashu is in green, the little bit of the crown that sticks up above the rim. That's the mashu. Now, you see over here, in this picture you can see that this takes up a tefach, right over here, a tefach. And it fits right in wherever he is, somewhere over here. Okay. That's that. Now what else do we have? Oh, zer, right over here. He's just showing all 3 crowns together, of the shulchan, of the Mizbeach Hazav, and of the Aron. Okay, beautiful. Next. I think they were a tefach. I believe that they were a tefach. What did you say? Hey, Amud Aleph, he says, in Sukkah. The professional in Sukkah. All right, Zok the Gemara. The Keser Kuhuna, Zocha Aaron Naftoli. The Mizbeach refers to the Keser of Kuhuna. Shel Shulchan, what does the Shulchan represent? It's the Keser Melucha, the table, the wealth. Zocha David Naftoli, David HaMelech and his family took the Keser Melucha. Shel Arayin, says the Gemara, here's our Musar. Shel Arayin, the Torah, what's in the Aron? The Luchas, the Torah. Adayin Munachu, it's waiting for somebody to grab it. Anybody could grab Torah. Maybe he'll say, since nobody grabbed it, it has the least value. With my Torah, I crown kings. If I have the ability to crown a king, I'm greater than a king. Torah is the greatest of all. So it goes like this: Torah crowns kings, and kings are greater than Kuhuna. A melech has more cover than Kuhuna. Memela, we know that Torah is the most important. Rabbi Yochanan Rami, Ksiv Zar v'Korean Zer. The Torah says it Zayin Reish. It looks like, if you just the word by itself reads as Zar, a stranger. V'Korean Zer, a crown. Zacha Nasas Zer. If you learn Torah Lishma and you makayim it all, then you zaycha and it becomes a crown to you. Lo zacha, you don't learn Torah Lishma, then it becomes Zar Mimeno. it becomes strange to him. We'll see soon even more. Rabbi Yochanan Rami. Contradiction. You Moshe Rabbeinu, you by yourself, you should make darin. Then it says va'asu, they shall make it. Is it him making it? Is it the whole Klal Yisrael? Mekan the Talmid Chacham shemnei iroi mitzuvin lazis loy melachtoi. If you're a Talmid Chacham, if there's a Talmid Chacham in the city, the entire city is mechuyev to be mefarnasim. You have to give him parnasa. He's your Talmid Chacham. Yes, it's Moshe Rabbeinu, but it's Klal Yisrael's responsibility to sustain him. By the Aron it says, inside and out is gold. Oh, a Talmid Chacham who learns Torah but doesn't have your Shemayim. His inside is not like his outside. He's not a Talmid Chacham. Abayi v'sei Rabbi Barula. Nikra Nisav. He's a disgust. Shenemar. Afki Nisav v'nelach. So I have here the pasuk. It's interesting. I just printed it because in Eov, the pasuk right before, it's important to know. It says, "Hey b'gdoishav lo yamin." He doesn't have Yerushalayim. He doesn't have emunah. And then it says, "Av kinisav v'nelach ish shoysek chamayim avla." He's drinking Torah like water. But who's drinking Torah like water? This guy from the pasuk before lo yamin. He doesn't have emunah. He doesn't have Yerushalayim. Avla. Nisav, so the pasuk calls him a nisav, a metuav, a disgust, a disgrace. Omar Rabbi Shmuel ben Achmeni Omar Rabbi Yochanan. I skipped. Oh, Yona's son. Oh, the eyes. Omar Rabbi Yona's son. This guy, he has money. He's a ksil, he's a fool, and he purchases chachma. But he doesn't have a heart. In other words, he doesn't have the Yerushalayim. Again, a lashon of Tamid Chachamim, but the Gemara says b'lashon Nekiya, the enemies of Tamid Chachamim. Sha'iskim bat Torah ve'ein b'em Yerushalayim. Shem Yirachem to these Tamid Chachamim who don't have Yerushalayim and they learn Torah. Machar Zebiyana. Chaval adolesle dorta. It's chaval that a person doesn't have a yard. V'tar ledarte of it. Look at this. A guy makes a door in the middle of a field. Nothing. It doesn't protect. You could go in from here, you go from here. And I look closely now. It says, please keep gates shut to prevent wild plants escaping. I guess it was a joke to begin with. But that's he's saying. Don't make a joke out of yourself. Don't build a gate and you don't have something to close up. Unbelievable. One of the only times I've seen this in Shas. Torah is only there, says Rashi, to bring you your Shemayim. That's what Torah is for. Unbelievable. It's a way to get to Yerushalayim. I'm begging you, Talmidim, please don't yarish in two Gehennims. What does that mean? Says Rashi that you're going to learn Torah your whole life. Schar you're not going to get for it, you're going to get Gehenna for it because you're doing it for the wrong reason. And in this world, you're not enjoying yourself because you're sitting and learning Torah. So that's a little bit different than the famous story they say about Rabbi Aaron Kotler. Some say about Rav Shach and Reichman, but I'll say it with Rabbi Aaron Kotler. Said a Gvir, or he went to a Gvir went to him. I'm going to get a few emails now. Basically, the point of the story is, it doesn't matter who it happened with and how it was said. This is one point. Rav Shach. Let's say it was Reichman. Told Rav Shach, look at my sechar. I get so much olam haba because I'm supporting so many yeshivas and Talmidei Chachamim. And Rav Shach told him, yeah, you get a lot of olam haba. But what about olam hazeh? Do you enjoy this world learning Torah all day long? Because the greatest enjoyment in this world, if you know how to learn and enjoy, is the enjoyment of Torah, the physical. Okay, Zok the Gemara. Omer Rabbi Yisroel ben Levi Maidich Siv V'Zois HaTorah Asher Sam Moshe. If you ever thought about it, we say it every Shabbos, every Monday, Thursday. V'Zois HaTorah Asher Sam Moshe. Shouldn't it say Asher Limed Moshe? This is the Torah that the Moshe Rabbeinu taught us. What's Sam? He placed it. Says the Gemara beautifully. Sam with a sin could be with a samach. Zacha nasli samachayim. Samchayim. If you're Zoich, in other words, you learn Torah Lishma, then it becomes the drug of life. like any drug, if you take it, right, Doc, you take a drug, but you don't have that machla, you don't have this, it does the wrong thing for you. If you don't know what you're doing, it messes you up. Lo zacha, nas lo misa. So I just want to point out that the Rishonim say over here. There's a famous Gemara that if you learn Torah Shaloi Lishma, B'Torah Shaloi Lishma, Ba Lishma. So the Rishonim on the spot here, and a lot of Rishonim discuss this, and say yes, if you learn Torah for kavod, let's say, you learn Torah to get you out of Yisurim or whatever it is, different reasons you have. That's Shaloi Lishma. B'Torah Shaloi Lishma, Yaveh Lishma. But if you learn Torah lekanter, just to show somebody else up, and you have no intent of keeping the Torah, that won't help you. That Torah is not going to bring you to Lishma. Have a wonderful day. אחינו כל בית ישראל, הנשאו למצור ושיבים יהוים דם בין ביום ובין ביבוש, עמוקים רחם עליהם, יוצאים מצור לבוכם ופעיל לא ירו, ומשיבו לגאולו, השתו, והגלוב בזמן קורא ונאמר אמן. Great day. שכוייך.